Congressman, good afternoon. Nice to talk to you again.
Good afternoon to both of you and to everyone watching and listening.
Over 600 health centers, only 200 are operational, and we have Health Secretary Herbosa saying himself this could be the agency's version of the anomalous flood control projects. First, Congressman, we want to know how you felt when you found out about this.
Oh, I really felt so bad because this is a vital component of the Department of Health's delivery of services to the poor. And if the HFEP program isn't functioning properly, ang nadedehado ang mga mahihirap na mga pamilyang Pilipino. It's really the poor families that get affected when services like this are not delivered in the way they should.
Okay, right, Congressman, would you know how much money has been spent and possibly wasted on these non-operating facilities and the continuation of this health facilities enhancement program?
Well, according to Secretary Herbosa, in the last decade, a total of 400 billion pesos was given by the DOH to various local government units to build the infrastructure for health facilities at the barangay, municipal, and provincial levels. But according to Secretary Herbosa himself, many of those facilities are not functioning today,
right,
or they are just remaining idle. And that is really a big concern. It was the Secretary himself who alluded to flood control and said that this was the Department of Health's version of the DPWH's flood control issue.
One interesting thing that you pointed out during the budget hearing, sir, is that the COA actually had an audit of this health facilities enhancement program and of those health facilities way back in, I believe, 2017. And then they already pointed out that there were discrepancies, there were delays in construction, the equipment that was used, that were used in the facilities were not apt for the areas that they are for, and even the equipment were substandard, they were defective and inferior quality. Was the agency able to answer why these health facilities and even the enhancement program continued after the audit flagged them, the Commission on Audit flagged them already?
Yes, not only that, as early as 2017, the Commission on Audit had already recommended the strengthening of controls within the Department of Health. But when I interpolated the sponsor for the Department of Health, I learned that it appears that many of these controls have not yet been put in place or are only now being put in place. And that to me is something that should never have happened. Since the COA flagged this already way back in 2017, then these things should have been addressed already, and the HFEP program should already have been working very well today. Now, who gets affected? It's the disadvantaged members of our society.
Right. I also read, Congressman, that the budget sponsor denied that these are ghost projects like the flood control projects, but these are actually built health facilities, but they're non-operational because they lack manpower. In this, where does the fault lie here? Is it with the DOH? Is it with the LGU where those health facilities are put up? Because we have facilities that were continued to be pushed to be built in those different areas, but they already knew that the manpower was not available for it to be operational. Who should be looked into this? Is it the DOH or the LGUs?
I think we have to look into both agencies, both the DOH and the LGUs. But of course, the planning and the preparation for this all stems from the Department of Health. These are funds from the national budget, and therefore it's the department that really has main responsibility for ensuring that these funds are spent in a way that will make them operational and continue to be operational. From the beginning of the agreements made, from the preparations made and the projections made, this matter should have been already mapped out and addressed. This the housing, the facilities enhancement program has been around for more than 10 years.
Right.
Therefore, there's enough time. There's been enough time for the department to address all the problems and to make sure that everything is working as it should. And I believe that when the COA flagged the Department of Health, they had very specific mechanisms and controls that should have been put in place already. But when I asked about them last night, it would appear that it's only now that they are putting them in place.
Do you think, Congressman, that this warrants a full-blown investigation? The amount may not be as big as a flood control project's anomaly, but are you going to push for an investigation of this, sir?
You know, while the amounts are not that big, according to one study that I read, that the amounts comprise roughly 12% of the annual budget of the department. And that's a pretty big percentage. Plus the fact that we are talking about services that are addressed to the poor and the marginalized. So therefore, we have to get to the bottom of this. And we have to make sure that this program is really working the way it should be working, the way it was envisioned.
Are you going to call for the investigation, sir?
Yes, you know, it's budget season, so we want to finish first with all the budget hearings. But as soon as this is over, we will be making that call.
For next year's budget, sir, was there an amount allotted for the HFEP already? And if there is, would you know how much it is?
I understand that there is an allotment made. I believe it's roughly about the same percentage, about 10-12% of the DOH's budget.
Should it be frozen first, sir?
That was one of the things that Secretary said he was thinking of doing. But you know, if it's frozen, then again, who will be affected? It's going to be the marginalized members of our society. And therefore, rather than freezing it, I think we should immediately institute the internal controls that are needed and the proper parameters that we need, the metrics to measure whether they're performing well. And that must be done as soon as possible.
Safe to say, sir, you're going to keep an eye on the implementation and the disbursement of the HFEP funds if it is approved in the budget for next year.
Absolutely.
Congressman Chel Diokno, thank you very much for talking to us.